grab your Bible and a Diet Mountain Dew because it's time for the Brother Byron podcast. Listen in as Brother Byron brings you thought-provoking insights from his 30-plus years in the ministry. Now here's Brother Byron.
Hello, friends. This is Brother Byron with another Brother Byron podcast. And it is Thursday, November the 7th, 2024. I'm on my lunch break, so I'm sharing my break with you. That's really the only time in my day that I can really do one of these podcasts in between work. So hope you're having a good week. My week's going pretty well right now. Still not caught up on my sleep since the time change last weekend, and then I stayed up till 3:15, I believe it was, on Tuesday on election night, so I could hear President Trump give his victory speech. And it was well worth it, but I'm still worn out. I only had like 4 hours sleep in the last, 24 hours or so. So not quite caught up, but Wednesday morning after I'd slept for 4 hours, I had to drive to the office. And even though I was really worn out and tired, there was a whole different feeling Wednesday driving to work. It was as if everything just seemed peaceful and calm. There was no pressure. And I don't think we realize how much of the back and forth during a presidential campaign year, how much that does to our spirit, how much it wears on us. It causes us undue stress, and it shouldn't be that way. But it happens. So, when it's all you hear from the moment you wake up till the minute your eyes close to go to sleep, when that's all it is, it starts taking a toll on you. But Wednesday, after it was all over and things were settled and didn't seem like there was any big, news flashes of cheating or anything like that, it just felt like it was so free, and it just felt good, and I believe it's going to get better and better. Now, I personally believe Trump did an outstanding job the first time he was president of the country. We saw just so many good things happen. The only bad things that happened were, of course, the liberal media that was constantly attacking him, causing everyday headlines and all kinds of garbage. That went on and on through his whole presidency, and so they kind of kept him bound, especially those last 2 years. It was just nonstop barrage against him. If they would just had left him alone, the crazy news media out there, if they just left him alone, so much more good could have been done. But they couldn't have it. But I do believe he did a great job last time, and I believe this time he's going to be even better. I believe he will go down in the history books as being one of the greatest presidents the United States ever had. And it's obvious the world thinks the same way already. We're seeing the leaders of foreign countries coming up and congratulating him. And you can tell those that are in fear now that he's going to become president again. So, I believe everything's going to go good. The stock market's already, wow, it was up, 1,000 something points the next day, and it's still going up. I looked at my 401k just this morning. It's the highest it's been since the last time Trump was in office. So anyway, I believe things are going to really turn around and look really good. If we can just keep that liberal news media away, the crazies out there, they're going to continue coming. Condolences to those that voted for Kamala Harris. She really stood zero chances of winning the election. I saw it. Nearly everybody saw it, even before it ever happened. But again, that liberal news media pushed it so much, they tried to make everyone think that she was going to be the winner, hands down, and that she was this great candidate. but everybody knew she wasn't. I mean, it was obvious she was never going to win that election. It's a shame it had to come to public embarrassment of seeing just how badly she got beat. Um, for the liberals to even realize that they made a huge mistake by putting her up there as their puppet um, a president. That's what they intended to do. And truthfully, Joe Biden probably would have won if they went ahead and ran him, even in his mental decline and even the world knowing it. I believe he probably still would have won um, instead of Harris as badly as she lost. I am praying for those that are having mental meltdowns right now. It was bad enough the last time that Trump won, but this time it is, it's just crazy. All you got to do is go onto social media, YouTube or wherever, just go to Google and type in liberal meltdown plus Trump. I was hoping to play you a few clips to give you some examples, but there's no way I can. All of those liberals, they have such profanity laced things. They have no filter to them. They want to curse and scream and go on. It's unreal to me that people actually act that way, and grown adults. I can see a little kid doing that if they were throwing a tantrum, but adults, the way they're acting, and I realize they're doing it to get attention. I mean, why else would you videotape yourself screaming, crying, and cursing for any other reason than you just want attention? I mean, that's all it's for. They're not trying to get some kind of point across because it's pointless. And so they get on there and scream and cry and talk about how bad it is. And I mean, they're saying so many ridiculous things like Trump's going to lock us up in concentration camps. Oh, wow. It's really crazy how much they've been brainwashed. And it has to be all it is. They're brainwashed. And look, that's another big difference between the liberals and the conservatives, or the left and the right. There's such a mental capacity difference. When conservatives lose an election or a race, we take it in stride, and when we take the loss, we don't melt down, we don't cry, scream, videotape ourselves cursing, and all this. We take it, and then we immediately start thinking, how are we going to win next time? That's just the difference between us. And conservatives just have a more stable mental mind, I guess, and the liberals just I don't know. Some of them probably need medication. They're that messed up, and so I'm really sad about them. I feel bad for them if that's really how they are. If they're really that affected mentally by this, they really have a problem. They really should seek medical attention. Probably that what they need to do is seek the Lord. From the way some of these folks are talking, I don't see how they could possibly be a Christian. And so that's probably what their biggest issue is they're lost. And that's the way lost people act. So, but pray for those folks. We laugh at it because it's so ridiculous, but we probably ought to cry over it. It's sad because of how they are. But anyway, I'm looking forward to actually the next election cycle, 2028. I believe Ron DeSantis will probably be the Republican candidate that runs, and I believe he'll probably win. It depends on what happens in the last year of Trump's presidency this time and how the country feels at the time. But if it's anything like it is right now, Ron DeSantis would be a shoo-in in 2028. I hope Trump finds some way to put him as part of his cabinet or give him some kind of position in his presidency now. I don't know what it would be, but I believe he would do well. Now, in 2028, I have no idea who the Democratic nominee would be. Probably It's not going to be Kamala Harris. I can tell you that right away. They've probably already cleaned out her desk and kicked her out on the White House lawn. But nobody wants her. So it will not be her. Most likely they'll probably run that governor from California, the land of fruits and nuts. What's his name? Gavin Newsom. They'll probably run him because he goes right along with their liberal mindset of craziness. Or that creepy sodomite, Pete Buttigieg. That's probably another choice for them. Or they'll find someone transgendered and run them. And, that's what I'm expecting for next time. But, speaking of Ron DeSantis, we need to give him kudos for his strong defense for the right to life, for defending babies in the womb. He fought tooth and nail to make sure that amendment didn't get passed in Florida that would allow wholesale slaughter of babies, and also to take away the rights of parents to know about their own child's health care. That's what was going on on the ballots in Florida, to vote yes to amend it so that they'd allow the abortion rights throughout the whole term of the pregnancy, and to disallow rights to parents to know their own child's health care. If a child comes to get an abortion, don't tell the parents. That's what they want. They don't want parents to know. And don't want parents to know when teachers are trying to convince their children that they're transgendered or something like that. So Ron DeSantis, he fought that and he won. Yes, sir. Florida refused to vote that in, and they voted no on that. And so it was not amended. And so praise the Lord for that. That's a huge win for the right to life. It's a huge win for little babies. And they keep saying they're trying to take away women's health care. Well, what about that baby's health care? What about that life? They care less about that baby. So I'm thankful for Ron DeSantis down in Florida. So enough about politics. I've got a few more things to talk about. We finally got a resolution for our video streaming camera at church. I've been talking about it for months now. We got that free PTZ camera from a fellow pastor of mine. They'd bought a new model and they gave us their old one, which was perfect, and it works great. It really does. And but we were having a problem with our live stream freezing up through OBS Studio and Streamlabs. So it ran fine on the PTZ camera software, but the interface from it to OBS or any software we try to use to live stream with, after 30 minutes it would freeze. And I thought at first it was AT&T doing it through our hotspots. So we got KUB fiber now at the church, and it was still doing it. And so after some investigation, I looked and I saw that the PTZ camera that we have allows you to stream different methods. So you can hook up HDMI and USB on through the back of it and do a whole separate stream from it. So at the same time you're using power over Ethernet, you can also use HDMI. So that's what we did. We tested it yesterday. Brother Scott, I brought the cables in. He ran them for me up through the attic and down into the sound room. And they were a little short, so we had to move things around just to make it work last night. I had to buy more cables, longer ones. They were 50 foot, but I need 75, I guess. But after we did that, and Brother David told me last night after the service, he said it didn't freeze one time. And so I watched it last night, and sure enough, it was perfect. No problems at all. And I know it shouldn't have bothered me that much, but that is another thing that has been hanging over my head for the last few months. And it keeps me tore up because it's so important that we are able to get the gospel message out to the world through our live stream. And we use that to record for sermon audio and YouTube and Rumble and Facebook, all these places. And so it's very important that is done as good as we can possibly get it. And I believe now that we've got the setup where we'll be able to do that. I want to remind you that this coming Saturday, Brother Jonathan and myself, we're going to do another podcast together. I'm not telling you what the topic is yet. We're going to reveal it Saturday, but it's going to be a good one. You're going to really like it. And I'm looking forward to that. I confirmed with him today. He says, yes, he believes he's going to be able to do it Saturday morning. So we're going to get, he'll be on his end and I'll be on my end, and we'll do it through, what's the app called? Not Teams. That's the one I use at work all the time. I can't think of it right now. Anyhow, we're going to do another podcast like we did a few weeks ago, and it's going to be really good. And so be looking forward to that. Oh, also, I forgot to mention in the last podcast, we reached podcast number 40 last time, this past Monday. And I forgot to say anything about it, but that was a milestone, a huge one, 40 podcasts. And a lot of people said, well, it won't last a week. I don't blame them. Who knows about these kind of things. But I'm really proud and excited and love doing these. And I hope you enjoy it, you that are listening. And we put this in numerous places. I don't share it a lot on Facebook. I just don't. But it's on byronchesney.com, brobyron.com. It's on YouTube at northsideknox.com, or at northsideknox, not .com, youtube.com/ at northsideknox. It's on Rumble. I don't remember where all I've got it, but these go out to several places, and that way we're able to reach the most people. And so if you like the podcast, just go ahead and give it a like there. Make sure you subscribe to these channels. Share it with others if you want. But, I really enjoy doing this. Probably not the best at it, but, it's fun. But can you believe that? 40 episodes. This is number 41 today. 41 episodes. Wow. Truthfully, it's not easy to find time to do these podcasts. Like I told you at the beginning of this one, I do this on my lunch break. I get an hour for lunch from work, and so I try to pour in all the time I can to get that done, because I still have post editing and uploads to do. And I can do those things in my spare time, in between work and such. That doesn't take up that much time. This part is the most time consuming, probably. Other than the editing, it depends on how much editing I have to do. But anyhow, it's not easy to find the time. I also work a full-time job. I'm a pastor full-time. I'm a husband full-time. I'm a father full-time. And so to study for sermons and Bible studies and, do my work, and plus my house stuff I have to do around the house, the day-to-day things, it's time is very small. I've got to work things in to get anything done. So time is our most precious commodity, or our most precious resource. I value my time a lot more than I value money. Somebody might try to entice you with money to do something. That's not my motivator. It's the time that I have to spend doing that. That's what makes my decisions on whether I'm going to do something or not. How much of my precious time is it going to eat up? Forget the money. Time is something very important. In fact, the Bible speaks about it often. The Apostle Paul understood how little time there was, and he tried to emphasize that to the churches. He wrote to the church at Ephesus in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 17. He said, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." Paul there, he's stressing to that church. He says, look, you need to redeem the time. You need to make as much of the time of sharing the gospel, of doing everything that you can for the Lord right now, because it's so important. And he said that they needed to understand what the will of the Lord is. And he told the church in Colossae, in Colossians 4 and 5, he said, walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. In other words, use your time. It's important how you use it, and do it to try to get the gospel out. And of course, we can't forget what precious little time we have to get that job done. I mean, the Lord commissions us to go ye into all the world and preach the gospel unto every creature. And the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 6 and 2, for he saith, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in the day of salvation have I succored thee. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. I stress that a lot of times during the invitation period at church when I'm giving the invitation, that it's today. I mean, the time is now. Salvation is immediately here now. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That person that's lost, we don't know if they'll even be alive tomorrow or in the next 5 minutes. So we need to redeem the time, make the most of it as we possibly can to tell people about Jesus. Instead, we'd rather talk about sports and politics and everything else. And I know you're saying, Brother Byron, you talk about politics first 10, 15 minutes of this podcast. I know I did. But I pray that the time I do spend trying to further the gospel that overshadows that part of it. I truly believe time is running out. And, people have been saying ever since the Lord Jesus ascended up into heaven to sit on the right hand of the Father, they've been saying, any day he's going to return. Any day he could come and take us out of here. And I believe that. If he doesn't come today, he may come tomorrow. But we're closer today than we were yesterday, whenever it's going to be. So we need to be ready. I don't think there's anything on God's timetable that's in the way of him calling us out of here, snatching the church up out of this place and putting an end to all this mess down here. We won't have to worry about any more elections, no liberals, conservatives, or meltdowns at all. The Lord one day is going to put a stop to it all. And I don't think anything's standing in the way to prevent that from happening. So I think we're going to have to end it right there. I've been going about 23 minutes, and I need some time to get this post edited and everything. But I hope you are having a good week. And I don't know about tomorrow, any podcast, but Saturday, be looking for that. Hopefully by lunchtime, I'll have it posted. If not, look later in the day, but you'll find it, first of all, in sermon audio. Go to byronchesney.com. It should be there. Sometimes I forget to put it on that one because I put it on sermon audio and YouTube and Rumble before I do that. So look for it in any of those places, and I believe you're really going to enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it. I've been praying about it. Me and Brother Jonathan both have, and so we're excited to do this next podcast. And until then, this is Brother Byron, and I'm out.